Straight ahead on CCX News, a city and businesses getting ready for one large hockey event as teams from across the country converge on Plymouth. Plus, one large welcome. We'll show you how Plymouth embraced 2 gold medal winning Olympians. And later, we take a seat to get a closer look at a unique crystal business. CCX News starts right now. Hello everyone and thanks for joining us. City of Plymouth is gearing up for a major high school sporting event.
The USA Hockey National Tournament begins at the Plymouth Ice Center on Thursday. Eric Nelson joins us now with more.
Yeah, Alex and Mike, Plymouth will be a hockey hub in the coming days as 36 prep teams from around the nation flock to the city. There will be pucks and sticks galore as 68 games are played in a 5-day span. The tournament should be an economic windfall for area businesses.
A lot of hotels will be used. They're taking up all the hotels around the area, expanding out to St. Louis Park, out to Maple Grove, and obviously the city of Plymouth. A lot of restaurants will see a lot of business. I know that the Stoneman Douglas high school team will be, after their game on Friday, will be heading over to Sunshine Factory.
Now, the Plymouth Ice Center underwent a $2.2 million renovation last year to get ready for the tournament. The main rink that used to be Olympic size now has NHL ice dimensions, and the Freon refrigeration system is also gone, replaced with an energy-efficient ammonia-based coolant. The Stoneman Douglas team will garner plenty of headlines at the event. Those players are still reeling from the tragic shooting in Parkland, Florida.
They went through a tragic time and they've battled a lot of adversity to get where they are now today. They won their state high school tournament, and the Florida Panthers are flying them in their private jet to this tournament, and it's created a lot of buzz, and they're to be celebrated to battle through that adversity, and sports does that. That brings people together.
The City of Plymouth and the Wayzata Youth Hockey Association are the official hosts of this tournament, which runs through Monday. They have been working for a year prepping and planning for the logistics of staging this kind of event. Alex and Mike?
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. And in the state of hockey, it is no surprise that players from Minnesota were well represented at this year's Olympic Games in South Korea.
8 women with Minnesota connections, including 2 from Plymouth, were on the hockey team that took gold. As Delane Cleveland reports, Plymouth's hometown heroes are serving as an inspiration to the next generation.
Thank you for being here and congratulations.
Less than a month after capturing Olympic gold for the U.S. women's hockey team,
Try to take a picture.
Plymouth natives Danny Cameronese and Kelly Panic made their way to the Plymouth Ice Center, where they received a hero's welcome.
It's always fun to celebrate any Olympian, but to have 2 from your hometown, it's really a great honor. Hello.
The city of Plymouth organized this reception for people to meet the 2 Olympians Saturday morning, and for 2.5 hours,
we got to touch their medals.
Hundreds of starstruck fans received autographs, photos, and a dose of inspiration from these newly crowned role models.
They're just like really inspiring, and I want to win a gold medal.
Mari Churitin is a 13-year-old hockey player from Plymouth. She didn't hold back when asked what the day meant to her.
I love having powerful female role models because every girl needs someone to look up to. For me, it might be these hockey players. For others, it might be an actor or a singer. Thank you.
The significance of their accomplishments and what it means to the next generation of hockey players is not lost on Panic and Cameronese.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we talked about as a team a lot, is just being a people that, you know, the young girls can now look to.
The dad mentioned that we're the people they're watching, and that kind of struck us, I think, just knowing that we can be that inspiration and people look up to us. It's really humbling.
To succeed on the biggest stage in the world is an accomplishment most people can only dream of. But for the girls standing in line, or for the ones just learning how to skate under the exact same roof, it doesn't take much to realize that with some perseverance and hard work, dreams really can come true.
The Olympics would be amazing. I would love that.
In Plymouth,
you guys are awesome. An inspiration to the next generation.
Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Now to another celebration. The Cooper girls basketball team won its first ever state championship on Saturday. The team and fans are still on an emotional high.
It was exhilarating. I was just like out of my mind, and I was just so happy because like being a senior and being a part of like history for like the school is just a lot of fun. It was amazing.
Well, the Hawks went up against a much taller Northfield team, but in the end it was Cooper who came out on top. The Lady Hawks winning the 3A championship, and students say the win helps to put Cooper on the map.
When they're just playing, it's loud, you know, we're cheering on everybody's name. So when we seen that they are winning and stuff, it was just everybody's crazy, you know, clapping, hey, yo. You know, it was just loud. It was fun.
An official pep rally takes place on Tuesday, and we will have game highlights for you in just a moment coming up in sports.
Amid all the March Madness excitement, an incident that marred a competitive boys basketball game. Following the Brooklyn Center Minneapolis North game Friday night on the St. Cloud State campus, a large fight broke out. School officials say it involved some Minneapolis North players and fans on the opposing side. St. Cloud police say no one reported any injuries and no arrests were made. However, the incident remains an open investigation. Brooklyn Center schools also issued a statement on the matter saying, quote, while we are still looking into the details of what occurred, we maintain high expectations of sportsmanship among our fans and players. At this point in our investigation, we don't believe any Brooklyn Center high school basketball players were involved in the incident. The principal of Minneapolis North also sent out a statement issuing an apology on behalf of the school and congratulating Brooklyn Center on their 81-76 victory.
In other news now, Crystal's police K9 ROCCO is retiring next year. However, the department now has enough money to buy a replacement thanks to the generosity of others. The third annual Bowl for ROCCO was held Sunday at New Hope Bowl. ROCCO mingled with residents while folks bowled and took part in a raffle. The Crystal VFW and Lions Club gave huge donations, which more than doubled previous fundraisers.
Last year, we brought in just over $4,000. They blew us away this year with just over $11,000. We were shocked. ROCCO's coming near the end of his career, so we're planning on purchasing another puppy through St. Paul PD in 2019.
ROCCO has been with Crystal since 2013, and Deputy Chief LESLIN tells us police work is hard on a dog's hips and joints, and that's why they don't serve for very long.
A group of Maple Grove students closely followed news of last week's student walkout. It fit right in with a unit of study on social justice. Basswood Elementary students made a mural to show what their hands can do to make a difference. And Monday, a speaker and author talked about that same subject. She says the best way to fight injustice is to start somewhere.
Young people are not just the future, they are right now. So I hope to be able to inspire them on how they can make a difference and make an impact.
It kind of went right along with what's happening in Florida right now in the Parkland shooting, because we have kids who are under 18 making a difference and taking a stand on what they believe in. And so the current events, along with Dr. TYNER's book, has really been a nice segue to what they can do with their hands to make a difference.
TYNER co-authored a book encouraging youth to make a difference. It's titled The Story of Miss Freedom Fighter, Esquire. Still ahead, a Crystal business that encourages you to relax and take a seat. That's next in Business Matters.
And plus a couple of boys basketball thrillers, including the Brooklyn Center and Osseo boys basketball teams. We'll have the highlights.
But first, on the first day of spring, a chance for light snow on Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Last fall, a unique business moved into Crystal.
It's a business that has made a niche for itself with custom-made furnishings for restaurants, hotels, and casinos across the country. In this week's Business Matters report, even if you haven't heard of Randy's Booth Company, you've probably taken a seat on one of their products.
These are more your standard booths, but I mean, something like this here is a little more custom where they're solid wood.
Inside Randy's Booth Company, you can take a seat to view a business with a handcrafted product. There's no mass production here. Every furnishing is custom made.
Each project is unique, so a customer could, you know, if you could dream it, we could build it.
BERT KISSOONDATH's dad, Randy, started the company in Minneapolis 40 years ago.
He's always been into upholstery and wood making, and came from Trinidad and Tobago when he was 17 years old, and came with the background of upholstery, from his father.
Under the direction of son BERT, the company has grown from 5 employees to 28, with room to grow at the new Crystal location.
We've diversified through the years into more hospitality, soft seating, lounges, schools, cafeterias.
Examples of the company's work stretch from the remake of the Minneapolis Armory, which hosted Super Bowl concerts and parties, to seating and tables at restaurants and for offices and senior living facilities. In this business, it's not easy finding workers who can do the job.
It's kind of a dying art. We have a hard time finding people that do this anymore. So most people don't think of even having their furniture or anything reupholstered anymore. You just go buy new.
Jill Julik is the company's only on-site seamstress, but there's work for more. And Saul Hidalgo has been doing upholstery for 20 years, but you don't learn the skill overnight.
This takes time, so at least 2-3 years to get it. Yeah.
Still, there's a demand for handcrafted, custom-made furnishings.
It lasts forever because it's all solid wood.
This Crystal business is one of the few who can still do it. Randy's Booth Company has done work in all of the Crave restaurants, including an upcoming project to create seating for the new Crave location coming in Maple Grove. Still ahead, a book selection that will give residents in Plymouth something to cluck about.
But first, more on the Cooper girls basketball team's state title victory. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. Cooper qualified for the state girls basketball tournament for the first time in school history, and the Hawks capped off a brilliant season on Saturday night. The top-seeded Hawks meeting second seed Northfield for the 3A championship. Cooper takes control early. KIARA Wheeler to TT Longs for the hoop and foul. It's 8-0 Hawks. Asia Wheeler knocks down a long three. Cooper struggles for much of the first half from the floor. They do lead 18-12 at this point. Grace Touche with a baseline turnaround beats the halftime buzzer. The Raiders within 2 at halftime. Second half, Asia Wheeler drives with a left-handed layup. It's 26-20 Hawks. Drew Gaston with a tough layup as she's falling. 10 points in the game for Gaston. Perhaps the biggest shot of the game, a long three by Drea Tribble. Gives Cooper some breathing room at 33-25. Great passing in this one. 4 Hawks touch the ball that ends up with a layup for Longs. And Cooper celebrates a championship and their first trip to the state tournament. 49-37 Hawks is the final.
But I think just knowing that this was it, you know, leave it all out on the floor, that's where you see that grit come in. So I think they did a great job. But when you're playing a close game, all those little things are what make the difference.
Now to boys basketball. The Brooklyn Center boys were looking to make it to the state tournament for the first time since the early 1980s. Brooklyn Center taking on top-seeded Minneapolis North in the Section 5 AA final. The Centaurs played well right from the start. Amon Decker, a three-pointer here, gives Brooklyn Center an 18-15 lead. The Polars, though, very dangerous in transition. Zion Sanford here, great finish to the rim for the hoop. Odell Wilson, tough to keep off the boards for North. He had 21 points, but then Brooklyn Center surges into the lead late in the first half. Roland Rust, Lakai Patterson, Brooklyn Center up 37-27 at halftime. Second half, off the inbound pass. Kentrell Wilson, Douglas rather attacks and scores for BC. 16 points for Douglas in the game. Centaurs lead by 20. Patterson out to Adrian Sprinkles, and he scores another big hoop. Patterson leads Brooklyn Center this night, scoring 24 points. 2 here off the drive. And Brooklyn Center, having lost to North by 22 points back in December, wins this one 81-76. They advance to the state tournament for the first time since 1983, beating a great opponent in the final.
We have a lot of respect for North. They're a great program, a great Hall of Fame coach. They've won the last 2 championships. But we don't think that we're not going to take a backseat to anybody. Our players are just as good as everybody else's. Our game plan was sound. They executed it, and they just went out and refused to lose.
The Centaurs are the number 2 seed for the Class 2A tournament. They meet Breckenridge in the quarterfinal round Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Williams Arena. The Osseo and Park Center boys basketball teams met for a third time this season on Friday night. On the line was a trip to the state Class 4A tournament. Third-seeded Orioles facing top-seed Park Center for the Section 5 championship. The Pirates get off to a good start. Jarius Cook nails the jumper on his way to a team-high 23 points. They go inside to DJ Purnell for 2 of his 11 points. Park Center is up 12-7. Osseo gets it going. Johnson Fala sinks the long 3 to put the Orioles within 14-12. A great game for Fala. Zach Tyson with a 3 and his foul. His free throw makes it a 4-point play, but Osseo's down by 1 at the half. Park Center makes a push early in the second half. Dane Danger with a dunk for a 5-point Pirates lead. Back comes Osseo. Fala scores 2 inside to tie it up. He scores 13 points in the game. Cornell Richardson with a nice fake here. He'll bank in 2. 47-49 Orioles. Emmett Page to Richard Mulva for 2 in transition, and Osseo's up 6. Park Center, though, doesn't quit. Datavius Frierson with a dunk, and Park Center's within 2. But on a night when both teams struggled at the free throw line, Fala makes 5 out of 6 in the second half, and Osseo wins this one, 61-57 Orioles, the final.
I mean, it feels amazing. We've been working for this since the summer, and now the dreams come true. It feels awesome. It was an overall team victory the whole game. I mean, I love these guys, and we're going to state. Let's go.
The Orioles are seeded 5th for the state tournament as they play 4th-seeded Eden Prairie in the Class 4A quarterfinals. That game is at noon Wednesday at Target Center. More on the state boys basketball tournament and a preview of the local teams headed there Tuesday starting at 4 here on CCX News. Mike and Alex, back to you.
And finally, if it's been a while since you curled up with a good book, a citywide read event is encouraging you to pick one up.
Plymouth READS announced its annual book selection. This year it's Locally Laid by Lucy Amundsen. It's a funny memoir about a Minnesota couple's decision to leave corporate America and then start a chicken farm. You can pick up the book at the Plymouth Library, which is giving away 100 free copies. Organizers say the response to the book has been good and has helped people reconnect with reading.
I think people lose track of how fun reading is. One of the reasons I've stayed involved in this is every year I've had at least one or more people say, I should really read more. This was really fun. I like this. And that's what I'm after.
During the month of April, the Plymouth Library is hosting speakers on locally sourced food. All of this leads up to the author who is speaking on Sunday, April 22nd at the Plymouth Creek Center. And that's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here again on Tuesday, starting at 4 o'clock.